I'm so excited. I am so excited about what we're doing tonight. So excited. I hope you are too. I know this might be a little bit of a surprise because I wasn't supposed to be on until 6 o'clock tonight for Mystic Monday, but because of the rare alignment that we have going on right now from 5 to 6, I'm really going to be doing a deep dive into Barbault's Basket right now because it's huge. And even though I posted a little bit about it, I didn't really, go into it deeply. And I guess I was kind of feeling a little guilty because I didn't really explain why this alignment is so important. So from now until 6 o'clock, I will be doing the live about the threshold we're at now, the energy about Barbault's basket and the prophecy that is being fulfilled. And then I'll sign off, publish that, and then I'll come in and do Mystic Monday live before I have to teach at 7 o'clock my time. So we're going to get it all in and we're going to get it done because it's so important. So thank you so much for coming on now. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so incredibly blessed and grateful to be able to share this space, our sacred space here together. Just so blessed to be able to work with you all. So I really want you guys to kind of settle into this energy. I want you to take a moment just to relax, settle in, kick off your shoes, and take a real grounded breath in. I want you to ground yourself. I want you to breathe in and breathe out. Do a couple of those because I really want you guys to kind of be able to tune in to what I'm saying. Are you ready? Are you ready to open your ears for me this first hour tonight? Open your hearts and to actually listen. Don't worry, I will be publishing this too, so you can go back if need be. So take that deep breath and allow yourself to receive and be anchored in this very specific message and call to action tonight for yourself and for humanity. Because we're all part of the same race, man. We're all in this thing together. So it's all about finding our way through and being able to respect each other all at the same time. So today is actually July 20th and is about one thing. The energy today is about one thing, my loves. Remembering who we are when the world feels like it's pulling itself apart. I'm going to say that again. Today's energy is about one thing, July 20th, 2026. Remembering who we are when the world feels like, and actually literally is, pulling itself apart. So right now, we are standing in the exact center of a rare, high voltage cosmic window that astrologers have watched for decades, called the Barbault Basket. 5 outer planet giants have locked into a celestial cradle across the sky. And tomorrow, July 21st, this specific alignment window is complete. I really wanted to stress how important it was that I wanted you guys to tune in, absorb, receive what I'm giving you, and take the action to set yourself up. And remember, I'm going to say it again, we are in a destiny year, right? So we literally don't need astrology to tell us that we're living through a massive turning point, do we? We feel the friction in our daily lives, the pressure in our nervous systems, the stress, the noise on our screens, the exhaustion of trying to keep up with a world in constant upheaval, and the deep craving for real, genuine harmony. If you've been feeling the weight of these times, I want you to hear me clearly. You are not broken. You are not failing. And you are not alone. We're all in this thing together. and so blessed to have our soul family to go through things with, aren't we? Okay, so today is about bringing this massive planetary shift down to our everyday human lives, because that's what we were put on this planet to do, to experience and live this human existence. Great purpose of why we were all placed here, whether you believe it or not. It's about moving out of hardship and survival mode and learning how to stand unshakably in our own personal truth without inflicting harm to others. That's a big thing. I'm all about standing in your truth, but don't run people over. Stand in your truth while doing no harm. Okay? And discovering how we come together as a collective, even when we see things differently, even when people are on so far different sides of the spectrum. It is so important for our survival, for the survival of our world, our planet, and our place in the universe. So this is so very important. Now, before we look at the sky's geometry right now, let's talk about what it means to be in a physical human being in this life through the number 4 and the shift into 5. Because that's what Barbault Basket is, isn't it? Now, 4, just so y'all know, is the ancient number of physical foundation. It's the 4 corners of your home. The 4 cardinal directions that guide you when you're lost. The 4 legs of the kitchen table where your family breaks bread. And the 4 sturdy pillars that hold up a community. The number 4 represents the dedicated labor of building stability, standing tall, keeping your eyes up, staying rooted, and holding space for what matters through the storms. But moving into 5, my loves, is the exhale. Number 5 is freedom, dynamic expression, real connection, and stepping out of survival mode into co-creation. You getting me? You getting this? So the universe is telling us today that the era of merely surviving the grind is over. But remember what our grandmothers knew and taught us. A basket is woven before the harvest. You don't wait for the fruit to fall before you start weaving the reeds. When the cosmos itself assumes the shape of a container, which it's doing, it is asking us a simple, profound question. What heavy, old stories are you carrying? And what are you ready to put down so real grace can take root? Space, my loves, has to exist before a blessing can fill it. So today, during our brief time together this evening, we are stepping out of collective division and walking straight into sovereign unity. So now what I want to go into a little bit, and I love it. I love this stuff. I do. My passion, or one of my many, I should say, is the prophecy, André Barbault, and the deep vision. This is why today is so important. So to understand why today, July 20th, holds so much weight, we have to actually honor the legendary French astrologer, André Barbault. Barbault was actually born in 1921, and he passed away in late 2019. He spent his entire life studying the massive, slow movements of the outer planets, not to write fortune cookie horoscopes, not that fast food stuff that I am not fond of, but to track the psychological, spiritual, and civilizational heartbeat of the human family. Barbault created what astrologers call the cyclic index, a mathematical model that tracks the total distance between the outer planets to chart the flow of human history. And it's pretty damn accurate. When planets cluster together in tight, tense alignments, the index plummets. And what happens when that happens? It signals major wars, economic breakdowns, and social crises. When those same planets separate into expansive, harmonious geometries, the index surges upward, signaling periods of rapid human progress, cultural awakening, and social reconstruction. Amen to that. That is why today is so important. That is why the prophecies are happening. Listen to what I'm telling you. So some people actually translated his vision as calling this the most beautiful alignment. But in his published work, look it up, The Value of Astrology, Barbault's exact translated words were that this mid-2020s window, which is what we're all in now, is the most beneficial configuration of the century, one whose planetary partnership would work for the best in a splendid relaunch of civilization. We have the opportunity, if people choose to listen and start waking up and getting themselves in the right energy and frequency, where we can actually have relaunch of civilization without destroying the world first. We have an opportunity not to have a species-ending event because we can't get our shit together. Understand what I'm telling you? Okay, so Barbault foresaw that the heavy fear-driven compression humanity experienced from 2020 through early 2026 was not the end of the world. It was the painful, necessary clearing of exhausted, corrupt systems. He prophesied that as the outer planets form this cradle formation, human consciousness would undergo an unprecedented acceleration. He saw this specific time, right now, as the birth of a new renaissance, a time when decentralized communities, ethical technology, spiritual wisdom, and human solidarity would replace top-down control. And I know this is a lot of things that a lot of people have actually been praying for. But now you have to do something about it, okay? Barbault actually had predicted the fall of the Soviet Union as well, and it came true. Okay, I think that was 1989. I could be wrong about the date. I have to actually look that up. But in the 80s, the late 80s, he actually prophesied and predicted the fall. So this is the next thing, the next prediction that's coming through. Okay, now, to feel the full arc of his prophecy, we have to look back to February 20th of this year. On February 20th, Saturn and Neptune met at 0 degrees of Aries, the world axis. The world axis, the absolute 0 point of the zodiac wheel. What was the initial, that was actually the initial match spark Barbault tracked. It began dissolving old, rigid realities exposing where societal systems were causing harm and forcing every single one of us to ask what we are actually building next. It's time to stop tearing things down and start building things up again. Now, if February was the spark that shook our foundations, July 18th through July 22nd, which is where we are right now, peaking right now to today on July 20th, is the exact moment Barbault predicted the fire would catch the wood. The Barbault Basket takes all that formless vision, change, and raw motion from the winter and gives us the physical geometry to anchor it into collective harmony. We haven't seen a sky like this since the 1940s. We are actually living through the fulfillment of a prophecy, a civilizational rebirth. Now it's all there. And there are ones that are fighting against that. That's why collectively, together, instead of listening to all of their noise, instead of getting involved in fueling all of their arguments, we have to gain our own sovereignty, speak our truth, and start changing things to be able to accept each other despite our differences, and to start leading with love, respect, compassion, understanding, and that we all want to live in a world that we can thrive, be who we are, and be in a state of peace. That is possible. That is not the impossible dream. That is why the United States became a country. That is what they fought for. We have to come together as a people, as a nation. We have to be the light we always were to the world and are meant to be. But we have to stop arguing. You know, we have to find a path to peace, not only in our country, but in the world. And I know sometimes we have to fight for that peace. But we sure as hell shouldn't be fighting amongst ourselves in our own country. Just saying. So that's just a little bit about Barbault, his basket. Okay. Now, the geometry, what we call the gambler's curse and true sovereignty. So let's actually look at the sky right now. 5 cosmic powerhouses are standing between 3 and 5 degrees, locked at 4 degrees across fire and air. Jupiter in Leo is at 4 degrees right now, the royal sign of the human heart, sovereign dignity, bold creative expression, and the courage to love out loud. Second is Pluto in Aquarius at 4 degrees, standing directly opposite Jupiter, dismantling top-down control and handing power back to community webs, local support, and decentralization. Number 3, Uranus in Gemini at 4 degrees. We're in Gemini for the first time in 84 years, breaking open old mental anxiety and opening brand new channels for human connection. And number 4, Saturn and Neptune in Aries at 4 degrees, giving a spiritual backbone and the physical courage to stand up for truth and build what is real. But for truth, speaking up from a place of love and truth and compassion and peace. You think about some of the great people in the world. Think about, you know, the people that came before us, even the ones that were in power, and how they worked really hard and sacrificed their lives on a path for equality and for peace, so that our country and our people could thrive, so that people could come here and be afforded the same rights that we were. That's who we are. Did y'all forget? So many people have forgotten what's real and what we're about. Soften your hearts. I know the past, my God, 6 years have been a bitch. Excuse my Jersey, but please, I implore you. I invite you to drop those walls. And I know it's going to be hard. And I know when we do that and we try to put our best foot forward, we might get knocked the fuck down. Excuse my journey. But those negative forces are not going to win. You stand up, you stand tall. You keep moving forward, but not in violence, not in anger. Nobody listens when they're getting yelled at. I don't listen when I get yelled at. My kids never listened when they got yelled at. Start with the whisper. Look at somebody a certain way in their face, like I look at you guys, and just say, I love you. I accept you for who you are, and I'm here with you, and I always will be. That's why I was put on this planet. Number one, to give the world my children. Number one, I'm a mom. And number two, you are my life's work. I was born with these gifts so I could help you heal and live happy, healthy, passionate, abundant, love-filled lives. You are my life's work. This is why I'm going to be working 4 hours straight tonight. For you. This is my offering today for you. Okay, so at the center of the sky right now sits a direct standoff between Jupiter in Leo, which is the individual, and Pluto in Aquarius, which is the collective. Now, in the world, we see this playing out as loud polarization, corporate greed, ego battles, war, and people weaponizing truth to cause harm. Financial astrologers actually call this specific tension that we're in right now the gambler's curse. Because when human ego gets drunk on power, people make reckless, arrogant choices believing they are invincible, and they're not invincible. Where am I? Okay. Now, listen up. I'm going to give you an answer. Here is how we turn hardship into harmony. True individual sovereignty never means I stand in my truth and I attack yours. Sovereignty means knowing who you are so deeply and honoring your own soul completely that you no longer need to force anyone else to agree with you. It means standing firm in your light while holding zero intention to inflict harm on another. So the basket, this basket right now forms a cradle. Uranus and Neptune act as cosmic shock absorbers. The sky is literally creating a safety net so that as outdated, corrupt systems break down, human beings have an incubated, protected space to build community, help our neighbors, and come together even though we are different, and some of us are so very different. So understand this, my loves. Harmony is not uniformity. Harmony is distinct, sovereign voices coming together to weave a single, unshakable song. You guys got it? Now, The Sabian symbols for these exact degrees invoke deep canyons and ancestral councils. They remind us that our ancestors sat around fires where opinions differed, but community survival depended on honor, respect, and shared humanity. The choices that you make today, literally, are carving out a canyon of light for generations to come. So I'm going to say this again. Please hear me. The Sabian symbols for these exact degrees right now invoke deep canyons and ancestral councils. They remind all of us that our ancestors sat around fires where opinions differed, but community survival depended on honor, respect, and shared humanity. The choices you make today are carving out a canyon of light for generations to come. I look forward to carving out those canyons of light with you, forging the paths to lead the way. Now, during Barbault Basket, what I'm going to ask you to do is going to talk to you about your personal activation during this time and the human magic. And yes, magic is real. And we can talk all about that on another day. Okay? So here is the real human blueprint for navigating this week from harm to harmony. Number 1, own your sovereignty without aggression. I'm going to repeat that, especially with what's going on in the world right now. And it starts with us. Remember, be the change you want to see in the world. That is not cliche. That is a literal truth. So number 1, to navigate what's going on right now, own your own sovereignty without aggression. Speak your truth clearly and plainly. Don't be shady about it. You don't need to raise your voice, project hostility, or inflict harm to be powerful. True authority is quiet, rooted confidence. Number 2, do the internal work, which means right now all of us need to heal our nervous systems enough so that someone thinks or lives differently. Hold on, I got to go back. Do the internal work. I got tongue-tied. Usually when I get tongue-tied, it's because I'm getting a good message out there that Spirit has given me, and their other forces are trying to say, oh, no, 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 no. And I'm saying, oh, yes, they're good if I'm human and I'm stumbled, because I can always go back. So do the internal work. Heal your nervous system enough so that when someone thinks or lives differently than you can respond with curiosity rather than react with defense. Practice harmlessness in your daily speech. Please, we got Mercury in retrograde. We got Neptune in retrograde. These aren't necessarily bad things. They're needed things, but that means back up, slow up. Think about what you're going to say, especially if it's important or going to have some kind of effect. Think about it. Go through in your head 3 times before you actually give it to somebody. Okay? So practice harmlessness in your daily speech. Number 3. It's my fave. Remember your human magic. Real magic isn't an illusion or a trick. Real magic is the intentional alignment of your thoughts, your words, and your physical actions. When you choose love over fear, when you choose community over ego, you literally alter the fabric of the reality around you. It's pretty powerful stuff, guys, and you can do that. I can do that. Let's do it together. So, as above, so below. You cannot weave harmony into the world if your internal vessel is packed with old resentment, self-righteousness, or burnout. We are walking straight into Leo season right now. The gate of the lion, it is on its way. It is almost here. And the lion demands sovereign strength, but also immense warmth. To carry the light without burning out or causing harm, you must clean out your personal vessel. And that is what I've been trying to get you guys to do. And as we get further into the latter half of this destiny year, instead of me like suggesting it softly, well, I never said it softly. I outright told you what to do. But I am loud and proud saying, let's get this done. This year, we're almost through it, you know? So, what we're going to do right now, if I can get my computer to work properly, is I'm going to give you, and I believe I posted it as well. I did post it as well. The Sacred Crafting Rite in Action. This is something that I literally want you guys to do. And if you're looking at me and you're thinking I'm nuts, I'm not nuts or crazy. Okay? Magic is real. Spells are real. Except different modalities, different religions call it a different thing. Some people call it spells. Some people call it chanting. Other people call it praying. It's giving something a voice. It's speaking it from your heart into your being and into the universe. It's allowing other people to hear this intent and what you're putting into the world and in yourself. It's a physical action that is needed to assist you in taking action. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. So what we're going to do with this physical rite, this sacred crafting rite and action, we're going to bring the stars down to our kitchen tables. And you might ask me, Elena, how do we physically anchor this alignment today? Well, I'm going to answer that. We perform the sacred crafting. Because today, my loves, today is the day. It is July 20th. And the alignment gates are complete tomorrow on July 21st. So I want every single one of you to commit to this physical action of faith today. And if you miss this today, do it first thing tomorrow morning. Catch the tail end. Okay? Catch the tail end. So, what you need to do is number one, okay, you're going to select your vessel. Cross your threshold today and choose one bowl or basket in your home that holds personal meaning, weight, or history, or all three. I have numerous things of that nature that actually hold all three. But at 54, almost 55, that totally makes sense. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the purifying. Wash it cleanly by hand. Don't put it in a dishwasher. Physically wash it yourself. Dry it deliberately with a clean towel, feeling the raw texture of the material or the vessel under your fingertips. Mindful physical labor grounds spirit directly into matter. That's why when I bake and I cook, I don't use any electric devices. The only time I use electric devices is when I make my shakes. Okay? When I'm making food and cooking for myself and the people that I love, when I am baking, I literally do everything by hand. There is no blender. There is no food processor. I legitimately take butter for cookies, sticks of butter, and I cream it myself with a fork. So it takes love. It takes energy. It takes time. It takes intention. Okay? So that all of my magic and my love and my intent is going in to what I'm making. Okay, so number two, remember the purifying. Wash it cleanly by hand, dry it deliberately with a towel, feeling the raw texture of the material under your fingers. Mindful physical labor grounds spirit directly into matter. Number three, the placement. Place that empty vessel in an open, visible space within your home where your eyes will meet it every single day. The evocation. Stand before your empty vessel, root your feet in the earth, and take a deep breath and speak these words out loud. And if your family lives at home, tell them to entertain you, to do this with you. Your kids may giggle. Your other half may think you're nuts. Your mother-in-law may go running and say, because she doesn't understand. But she will. Because we're going to work with people from a place of peace, right, and understanding. And this is very faith-based. Okay? Because my gifts are gifts from God. And Jesus is my guide. Okay? So somebody who tries to tell you that it's evil, it is not. That is ignorance. And because they don't understand the truth about who we are and what we do. Okay? So, the evocation, you're going to stand before your empty vessel, root your feet into the earth, and take a deep breath and speak these words out loud. 4 corners hold, 4 walls keep. The vessel is ready for what I will reap. Before the harvest, the basket is cast. To hold the future, I empty the past. So you could do this collectively as a family, or you could take your family and have each individual person wash out their own vessel and dry it and put it before them. And then you can put a collective family vessel in the middle and then do the same evocation. So that's working on ourselves individually and then working with each other collectively as a family. Okay? Now the vigil. You ready? Leave that vessel completely, intentionally empty until the gate closes tomorrow evening. In a world that tells you to constantly fight, hoard, project, and rush, keeping a vessel hollow is an act of quiet human defiance and total faith in our collective rebirth. Okay? So, in the comments, once I publish this, I want to hear from you. And then when we go into Mystic Monday tonight, we can pick up the discussion and talk about these subjects. Please, let's talk about them. Okay? We'll open the chat during Mystic Monday. Okay? But today is July 20th. How are you choosing to move from harm to harmony in your life? How are you standing in your truth today while honoring others? Drop what you're doing in the comments for me. Let's talk. Let's interact. Let's be there for each other. Let's help one another see. An empty vessel made intentionally ready is how we tell the universe that our hearts are wide open to building a peaceful, sovereign world together. So we're going to seal this space together. And how we do that is simply by saying these words. Because we wove our baskets tonight, didn't we? And you guys are going to go do that ritual, aren't you? I have faith you will. Okay? So, it is woven, it is woven, it is woven, and so it is. Now, because what time are we looking at right now? 5:53. In 7 minutes, I got to jump back on for Mystic Monday tonight from 6 to 7. So I hope you guys will come back and join me. If not, that will be published later on, so you can take a listen or rewatch at your own convenience. But I wanted to thank you. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being a part of my soul family, for blessing me and honoring me with the opportunity to work with you. Thank you for your humanity, your courage, and your commitment to doing no harm while standing boldly in your light. So go wash your vessel. Keep a journal near you. Journaling is so important. And I invite you to go to my website, www.oneheartonespirit.com. Spell all the words out. Okay? Or direct message me here to book your sessions with me today. And you and I together will walk through these gates tomorrow and the rest of this year. Okay? I love you all fierce. You guys are my passion. And I know there are some that, you know, say namaste, but they don't get it. What I say to you is the human in me sees, loves, and adores the human in you. And together we're going to raise our frequencies and get to that goddess and goddess level as we were attended by living this magnificent, beautiful, and sometimes rough, but always a blessing, human life. I'll talk to you guys soon. In a couple of minutes, as a matter of fact. Okay.